I'd rather lose a conversation. I'd rather lose my ego when I'm having an argument with somebody who lacks emotional intelligence and who's got into a conversation not with the point of listening to you, but with an intention of belittling you and making sure that you hear how bad you are as a person. This person is not trying to argue with you to reach a solution, but instead this person wants to just hear the sound of their own voice and keep barking. But many a times people who do not let you speak, many a times when people, especially in conversations, do not hear your side of the conversation, but you let them talk, they shut you up because they know what you say is going to knock it off the park, and they know that you are right and they're in the wrong. Unfortunately, when you speak with people with no emotional intelligence, even if their IQ is extremely high, it's very hard to have conversations with these people, let alone having them walk a mile in your shoe. In any two-way conversation, if there is somebody who's come in with all guns blazing, and if they don't respect you, if a human being actually innately hates you, disrespects you, lover, friend, family, exes, colleagues, whatever the fuck, it's how they communicate with you. It's the things that they say to you, that this person actually hates me and can say these words. And then if they turn around and then say sorry, it doesn't make any sense, because when people lack emotional intelligence, they can't relate to what you are saying. They'll say yes to everything. They'll even try to emote. Many a times I've been in situations where I've shared some really heart-wrenching reality about my life with people, and those people have tried to feel bad for me, but their face shows it all, because they can't really feel emotions. They don't feel empathy. And what happens when people don't empathize with you? When they don't even understand the basic feeling of empathy, but nobody likes to be called as someone who does not have emotional intelligence, especially now in this society where mental health, yoga, and everything related to mental is becoming a big fad, and everybody wants to be in the know, whatever it may be. Half of the people who talk about self-love is fucking hating themselves anyways. And half the people like us who have boundaries against tyrants and people who've abused us in our past, if we have boundaries with them now, they call us that our character is bad. They tell us that we are fucked up individuals, that we are difficult when we are asking for the bare minimum, or when we are asking for some fucking respect. And when we're not asking for any of it, when we're just sharing our life, and when we expect something to be reciprocated, they can't, because they do not have the understanding of emotions. They don't. So many times in two-way relationships, in friendships, lovers, family, you ask them for something that you're giving so willingly, and you ask them for something that you would give yourself and you would give to another person if you were in their shoes. And so when you ask them that, they want to catch an attitude. And worse even, they want to make you feel like you are the tyrant and they're the victim, and they tell you 1 to 2, 2 to 3, their to-do list, like they are trying to pencil you in their schedule. Fuck you. If you don't want to have a relationship with us, which is normal human value relationship, which is a relationship between two people, and if some people cannot really have that conversation with you where they messed up, where they want to take accountability, where they tell you, okay, listen, I know I messed up and how can I make this better? But instead they want to forget everything that they did to you, but they don't want to talk about it now. Why? Because people who lack emotional intelligence, they can't handle the truth. They can't face themselves when you call them out. They can put up an act. So for the first time, the second time, how many ever times they approach you, they initially begin with being very calm and understanding. But soon enough, they can't put up the facade for too long. Because unfortunately, when we are dealing with somebody who we have emotional ties, our heart attached, our emotions attached, and they do not have that emotion for us, when they cannot reciprocate the emotion, when they can't let go of their damn fucking pride, because they will choose their pride over you, when you will choose them over anybody or anything, when you put your pride behind for them so they're used to it. So it's not just emotional intelligence, it's a lack of taking accountability and responsibility for their own emotions. And when people can't take accountability for their own emotions, what do? They twist your words. They turn your words. They make you feel like you don't understand. They make you feel like you lack emotional intelligence. And at the end of the day, if you get into a conversation with somebody who actually, you actually have emotions for, it's really hard for you to play this game, this tit for tat, because everything is a competition with them. There's nothing when it comes to understanding that you are a human being who has real fucking feelings. They forget the entire relationship. They forget the entire history, what's gone between you two, what have they done to you. But in that moment, they just think about winning the conversation. So yes, at times they lose you forever and they won the battle, they won the war, but they lost you. Because at this point, you don't want to argue, because if a man can't respect you, if a woman can't respect you, you can't be there. Where your old self in a similar situation would have either let shit slide when people don't have that emotional intelligence, and you would have put yourself on the line to a way where you're on your knee begging this person to understand where you're coming from. And this can be anybody, from lovers to family to any close friendship. And this person is watching you cry, but they don't shed a tear. They don't have any emotions in their eyes. Their eyes are dead. And you see it. Point where they're almost taking this pleasure of watching you break. If they want to see that version where we broke, where they broke us, and we still cater to their emotional unavailability, that's a problem. Because bear in mind, when we cater to emotionally unavailable people, and we actually are emotionally available for them, they must have forgotten all the times that you were there for them. But you remember all the time that you were there for them. Not in a way that you're reminding them, but even if you're not in their life today, and even if they're in and out of your life today, or even if you're together, there comes moments in your life where you sit with yourself and be like, was everything a lie? Did nothing mean anything to this person? Does this person even have a heart, even have a spirit for the way they're talking to me, the way they're talking to me today? After all these months, years, this time passed, nothing's changed. You're still the same person, because actions speak louder than words. So many times people say these words to you, but they can't put up the facade for too long. And soon enough, they lose their shit on you. For what? For calling them out? And bear in mind, when they call you out, because not everybody is perfect and you're healing, and I've been in a situation where I've let one person in my life back over and over again, and I curse myself for that, because every time this person walks in is my weakness, and this person knows that, and I let them treat me like shit. How much ever healing I must have done, and that's something that I need to focus on and work on, because how much ever we want somebody to have that emotional intelligence, to treat us with sensitivity, to treat us with love and light, to treat us with tenderness, with beauty, with love. But they can't do that. They can pretend to do that, and they pretend to do that so well sometimes that you get confused. What do I do? Where should I go? But deep inside, you know that there's no connection, there's no spark anymore. We've lost the connection because this person is not the person you once knew. You don't recognize this person anymore. They don't recognize you. And some of us still stick in this relationship in whatever capacity it may be, because we feel this person may lack emotional intelligence, but I still love him. I still love her. It's okay. It's fine. But what about you? How bad do you feel every time you go to bed in the night? Saying, my heart cries. Your heart cries. Is the person who is next to you, the person who you have this relationship, be it friend, lover, family, whatever, they don't reciprocate anything. They don't even understand. Every time you speak, even if it's not about you both, about any topic, about anything in life, it's like your value system, what you do with your life, if it's not as grand as theirs, it doesn't make sense. Your opinions don't make sense. So they always have something to say, and I did this, I did that, but did they go inward? Did they grow as an individual? Are they good people? Because I just believe people who are emotionally unavailable, people who lack emotional intelligence, are usually very prideful people, are usually very disrespectful people, are usually people who do not value feelings. And if a human being can't value feelings, because a human is not just mind, he's heart as well, she's heart as well. So if they don't understand the core of what makes us as human beings, they may as well be robots. So these are the people you can't expect any commitment from. Because at the end of the day, I've been disrespected. And yes, I've lost my shit. And I realize when I come across people like this who lack emotional intelligence from past, present, I lose myself. I lose my sanity. I get triggered. I act up. And God forbid, If I let these people have communication with me, if I let a guy or a girl get so close to me that they can actually speak with me in a disrespectful manner, I will not argue anymore. Because they want a reaction from you. They are incubus, succubus energies. People who lack emotional intelligence are everything. People who malice, people who cheat, people who only value money, everything material. So these people are not anything that you and I and 10% are, who deal with people with emotions, who actually have a good heart. So everything that you're not, they are. So at the end of the day, there's no match. We don't match. We must have matched at one point, but now we don't match. If you grew as a person, if I've grown as a person, then this relationship is not going to continue anymore. Because at the end of the day, this person is going to be here to chew you and spit you out because they do not respect you. They do not respect me at all. There's one thing I can tell you: people who lack emotional intelligence will push your buttons, will bring the reaction off of you. Until they don't get your attention, they'll chase you. And when they get your attention, they'll drop you. So they make you feel like shit. Every time you even try to communicate with somebody who lacks emotional intelligence, if this time you're like, you know what, let me explain my side of the story, they will have that chat with you in the initial first 5 minutes, or one day they'll have a chat with you. Next day they're going to turn around and make you feel like shit for everything that you tell them I'm expecting. And they don't live up to it, because they never live up to it. It's like, what you can do for me, what I can do for you. These are the same type of people who don't have emotions. I don't know how to explain this. They're not good people. They don't care if you're dead or alive, as long as you can do something for them. And to be in a place where you actually must have fell in love with this guy, fell in love with this girl, you actually love this family member, you actually love this fucking friend, but all along they were hating you. All along your emotions never mattered to them. So everything, every laugh, every conversation is a lie, because when it comes to the point where they have to prove themselves, and when it comes to a point of basic respect for you, what are the words that they use? Are they rude to you? How do they argue with you? When you're in an argument with them, that's when people say things, I was just joking. People, when they say things when they're angry, is the things that they actually mean. But then they brush it off. When people say I was just joking, no, there's truth to it. So people who lack emotional intelligence, they don't care how you feel. They don't care what you're going through even, as long as it feeds their ego. So for example, a person who lacks emotional intelligence never really gives a fuck of what you've done in your life if you've not done something that is for the show. If it is not something on the outside. If it's not something that the world can see, or that they can tell the world, oh, I did this, I did that. And they think that you are dumb and you're a low life and you are a bum. If you didn't do nothing with your life on the outside, but you did everything on the inside. So today when you look back, there's certain relationships you allowed, certain treatment that you allowed. So that man, that woman today can run away of how they treated you, what they did to you, what they did behind your back, because they don't want to face it today. And they probably never want to face it till on their deathbed. They don't want to face it. But that's not the type of man and woman you want to be with, because you went inward. And one distinguishing factor, when you go inward, you have conscience. You have God's conscience in you. You're good people. People who don't go inward, they're only outward. So that man today you're crying over, that woman you're crying over, that friendship, that family member you lost, it was never meant to be. And it's one of the hardest places to be, to accept the fact that it was never meant to be. Because every time that person must have even cried in front of you was a lie. Because that person doesn't remember anything. They don't remember you. You don't remember them. You're just strangers in a room. And some of us drag it, and one of us feels we're in a one-sided relationship, friendship, family, whatever. While they are f***ing around to glory and then laughing behind your back because you didn't do something with your life. With their cocky f***ing self, or stay in your life with their cocky f***ing energy, filled with pride, where the shit don't sting, they think. And these are the type of people who want to have a relationship with you. These are the type of people you want to have a relationship with, who you can't even communicate with, who are so f***ing prideful that they love the sound of their own voice. They don't want to face what they're hiding. They don't want to face their ugly truth. So they want to bash you. And when you try to speak your truth, they want to shut you up and they want to tell you what a miserable human being you are. And you take it. Many a times I just say, you're right, okay, great, let's get out. And I leave their life forever. Because if you don't like me, please don't talk to me. I don't want to be in your life again. So don't come back in my life again. Because I've never hurt you. Because you will not stay in my life. Because I know in a second you don't like me. So I cut you off. So whoever don't like me is either not in my life right now, or will never be in my life. Or they'll probably stay strangers for the rest of my life. But at the end of the day, I know that I never hurt y'all. I never hurt nobody with an intention of hurting them. If anything, I took their emotions, I soaked their emotions in. I was the listening ear for people who've cried in front of me, who've given me promises, empty promises, who've fucked me over, who've left me and come back, and left me and come back. Friends, family, lovers, everything. So today, if I have boundaries and I don't want you guys back, and if you're not getting the same treatment like you used to as a pushover when I was one, please forgive me and please get the away from my life and stop hating on me, because I will continue to ask what I deserve and what I want, and I will keep calling out bullshit. And if this person is in their present today and you're still putting up with the lack of emotional intelligence with this person, you better tell them exactly how you feel and watch how they respond to how you feel. Do they ask you, how did you manage your emotions? How did you feel when I treated you that way? How do I take care of you? Or do they act and tell you, you did this, you did that, you're this, you're that? Just watch when people talk to you. Do they get defensive about their emotions and how they've treated you? Do they ask you about your heart? How did they make you feel and how did you come out of something that you went through? Or do they just further put you down? Life is hard as it is. We don't need people like this. We really don't need people like this. Hurt people hurt people. So love is on one side. If they don't respect you, they don't deserve you. Just remember the abuse, the history, the present. And please look at yourself in the mirror. Because at the end of the day, please don't create issues where there need to be no issue, just because you do not want to take accountability for your emotions. And if you have somebody in your life today who makes you feel that way, it hurts. This must be a person that you would give your all to. And when you think about your past, if you have one, it hurts you for all the time you guys must have laughed and been vulnerable, but that version of that person is dead. That person is dead. Rest in peace. This is a person you don't recognize. So we need to understand that, because we don't hate nobody and we can never possibly hate them. I hope they understood that. Because people who have emotional intelligence, they move on. They don't hate.